Look who's back.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, getting the band back together again.
It's like the second wave of COVID. It's us, George. You were meant to do that bit.
Oh, sorry. Oh my God. Did we do this again?
No.
I'd totally forgotten about it.
Go on, try it again.
Hello and welcome to...
No, not that bit. It's just this bit.
Is that?
Mm.
Yeah. All right.
You'll
Okay.
catch it. You'll catch it.
Ask George. George Wood asks,
Would
do
he?
you think Pat Cummins will be alarmed with today's proceedings?
Yeah, definitely. He's absolutely panicking, and he's just been on the WhatsApp group with the lads saying to Hazelwood and Stark and co, hey, maybe we should not bowl half volleys a foot outside leg stump like Zimbabwe did. Because
Yeah.
that was going to be the plan.
Yeah. No, we're going to get our lengths wrong the entire day. That was part of the plan as well. No. Yeah, I don't
Going
think...
to feel like we haven't got arms.
Oh, come on. Look, I felt for Zimbabwe. It's a huge step up for them, obviously. But yeah, I don't think... I don't know how much we learned from this. So I don't know how much Pat Cummins will learn from this.
I don't suppose you watched it.
I don't suppose he did either. Will Cooling asks...
Hello, Will.
Have you read Jared's book yet? Who's Jared?
Yeah.
Jared who?
It's dead to us. Do you know what? I haven't, but I have a copy, and I'm very much looking forward to it because there has been a sudden sort of splurge of books, and I have to review a few anyway, not least Roland Butcher's, which I'm reading right now. So, well, not right now, I'm talking to you, but that would be rude and multitasking, and neither of which I would like to be. But I'm going to, and I did read from the cover that he's the best cricket writer that's ever drawn breath or something like that. Did you see that? Have you seen it?
No, but that's just what Jared tells me every day. And I'm sitting next to him.
I don't think it was him.
Oh, come on. It was his burner account.
Yeah, maybe. No, but looking forward to it. It'll be brilliant.
Yeah.
Like everything he writes is.
I'll read it too. It will probably make me. Innocent bystander,
Hello.
asks if an England bat can't beat the Gilbert in this test, is it finally time to accept it as a record that cannot be beaten until England select batters from another planet? And who should make way for the Martian Bradman? By the way, when I first read that, I thought if an England bat can't beat the Gilbert in this test, I thought that was a euphemism. I genuinely
For what?
did.
For what? Explain to the listener
I
what it's
thought-
a euphemism for. They're
I thought it was-
beating their Gilberts.
I thought it was a euphemism. You know what for.
I think it does remind us what an incredible record it is, because if it's ever going to be broken, it's a day like this, on what looked like a pretty flat wicket against a very flat attack and very aggressive batters. Just shows how far ahead of his time he was. It's kind of lovely that some of those old records remain, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, there's some that never, ever, ever want to be broken.
No, but I still think it might be in the next couple of years. But yeah, let's see.
Oh, Jared Kimber,
Whatever happened to him?
author extraordinaire, asks, which umpire would you most like to smell like? I mean, I have to be honest and say, I've done a lot of things in cricket. I have never actually sniffed an umpire.
Oh, you haven't lived.
I know. Clearly, I've missed
the
out.
reason for this is, I think I tweeted it earlier. Kumar Dhanasena has produced a perfume range, and it is worth having a look at his website and the adverts. If you look at Kumar Dhanasena in perfume, it's extraordinary. It's extraordinary. Now, I was at breakfast with him this morning, and I could have just leant over and had a sniff.
Why didn't you?
Well, maybe it was. I thought it was the eggs. but I don't know. Maybe I don't know which. What do you think they all smell like? I mean, Spirit of Jack Chantry would be something, wouldn't it? Why doesn't he have his own range?
I bet you Umpire Sue Redfern smells good.
I bet. And what would? I mean, I've always kind of wanted to be more like Murray Erasmus. I've never thought I wanted to smell exactly like him, but he would smell of sort of peppermint and lavender and kindness.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And wisdom and
Yeah.
uncles.
Look,
I think maybe him. I mean, I think he. I don't know.
I think we need to actually line up some umpires to sniff and actually get a real feel.
I think that should be fairly easily arranged. It's the sort of thing that we used to do habitually at ESPN, wasn't it? Imagine sending that email. You got 8 of you stand in a line, put a blindfold on you, and make you sniff them. We've just been locked out at the balcony.
Oh, no.
Did you see that?
Oh no.
We had to spend the night here.
It's too cold. I was cold today. Oh no, now I have to
told
stroke
you
your
had
phone.
to keep stroking it to keep it alive. Gilbert it up a bit.
It's so gonna be. That's gonna be it now. Beating the Gilbert.
You've only been on tour for 24 hours.
They'll never let me on again. Jack Rule.
Hello, Jack Rule.
Hello, Jack. Isn't the runs were against Zimbabwe line just insulting and demeaning? They are still a test nation. Or are we only saying runs against Australia or India count?
Well, I think that's a bit binary.
Yeah.
Look, we're not just saying runs against Australia and India count. We're not. But you would have to acknowledge, Jack, that Zimbabwe attack was poor. You'd have to acknowledge that. So obviously these things aren't black and white. There's lots of shades of grey. But they weren't very good. And I don't think it's... Well, what were the words he used? Remember, you've got to keep stroking it.
Insulting and demeaning.
Yeah, I don't think it's insulting and demeaning, to tell the truth.
Yeah. I mean, just like there is with everything, you can't look at a scorecard necessarily and feel like you know the story of what happened in a day, right? Well, it's just sometimes people might score 20 runs and they've done really, really bloody well on a terror of a pitch with when the ball's doing all sorts. And then there are other times where someone does score 100 and you think, yeah, fair enough, but you haven't been blown away by it. So there are always going to be mitigating circumstances. Let's
put the question back to Jack. Would you say that those hundreds we saw today were as good as Ben Stokes's at Leeds in 2019? And they clearly weren't, were they? So I think we've got to be honest. This is Test cricket. It's not sort of fun at the Jolly Green. Village Green, Jolly Green. But anyway, it's not just a village competition where everyone's nice to each other and has sandwiches and says well done. It's Test cricket. It's got to matter and you've got to be honest. And they weren't up to it.
Yeah,
it's okay.
And I reckon, they know that as well. This is a massive step up for Zimbabwe.
Yep, and it doesn't mean they shouldn't be playing.
Does not. They need to play more.
Of course they do. And they are playing more.
Yes.
And they are playing more. So you don't necessarily judge them and write them off on one day, but you do have to be honest about the day. And it was, come on, it wasn't competitive.
It was not. Dimitri asks, with Crawley and Pope scoring big today, how do England fit Bethl in for the India series? I would have Bethl at number 3, Pope at number 6, 7 with the gloves, and Jamie Smith out.
Oh, wow. Well, I don't think there's any suggestion that's going to... Oh, well, that's interesting. No, but it's completely valid. I just hadn't thought about it. Keep stroking. Lost my place. I think Bethl will come back in. I wonder if the centuries negate one another. But let's see what happens. These things so often sort themselves out from someone getting a hamstring injury, a broken finger or something. Let's see what happens. But it was probably a tough day for Bethl. But do you not think that so many runs were scored that, as I say, they almost counted each other? They almost counted for nothing in a way. I just think it was like, inflation in Zimbabwe used to run at 1,000%. I think we saw 1,000% inflation today.
It was a bit of an Oprah day of cricket. You get a century, you get a century, you get a century. It was kind of like that.
Nice. Do you use that line?
No.
If you'd said it earlier, I'd have nicked it and used it myself.
Actually, I might. I'm still writing my piece. So yeah, it was kind of one of those. Interestingly, I thought the whole thing was quite interesting beforehand, with particularly Ollie Pope's position that. There was this clarification that came out because of what Ben Stokes said in the press conference yesterday, and felt it needed clarifying later, that he was talking about Bethl coming straight back into the squad, not necessarily the 11.
Do you think Jacob Bethl would have stayed at the IPL all this time if he hadn't had some assurances?
That's a good point.
And also, I don't know for a fact that he has had assurances, by the way. I'm just, suggesting. And equally, this is what Ben Stokes said, within reason. Correct me or I get it wrong. Come on, you saw what Jacob did in New Zealand. You don't have to be a genius to work out, put 2 and 2 together. Something like that was what he said, wasn't it? That means he's coming back at the side.
You would think so. I just thought it was interesting that they felt the clarification was needed.
Yeah, I wouldn't read that much into what happened today. I might be proved wrong later in the game. Amazing game that cricket is. But do you remember how, I don't know, before heavyweight title fights, sometimes Bruno, for example, really good example, would fight a doorman from Manchester who had had 12 pints of beer and a kebab, and it would last about 8 seconds. They go, oh, he's ready for the title now, and it didn't mean anything. And I think some of the bowling was really bad.
Well, we'll see.
It was the worst bowling I've seen this year.
It's a great problem to have if these top three are in the runs again, and then you've got Bethl as well.
Well, it's the worst bowling I've seen this year, and my granddaughter is 8 and only just started really at All Stars.
Occidental Touriste asks, have we learned anything today that we didn't already know? Yeah, I don't think we did. Did we? I don't think we did.
I mean, look, you've still got to get the runs, and that's worth something.
Yeah. I don't think we learned
they were
anything,
under a bit of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
They were under a bit of pressure, weren't they, because of what Ben Stokes said yesterday? So they batted very well. I also thought that they batted with some hunger. They didn't actually just go out and smash it. There were times when Zach Crawley, for example, left the ball.
Ben Duckett, a maiden, faced a maiden.
And he built his innings, and he didn't give it away in the 80s or 90s, which he's done a lot. So, and we also learned that Zimbabwe have a huge distance to go, a chasm, before they're up to, playing top-level cricket, I think. So we learnt a bit, but not masses. I mean, I take the spirit of the question and basically agree with you.
So, and Danny asks, is the pitch that flat, or are the Zimbabwean bowlers that ineffective in English conditions?
Well, look, Trent Bridge is a pretty flat wicket, but I thought there was a bit of uneven bounce, particularly coming from the pavilion end, hitting a length, just back of the length, actually, yeah?
Staying
off
low.
stump.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, the ones I meant were the ones that were jumping a wee bit.
Yeah.
So it would be really interesting to see how England bowl. But you expect it to be pretty flat here, and you don't really expect it to deteriorate. But let's see what happens tomorrow. I have a suspicion that England will get in amongst them pretty quickly, but it's an inexperienced attack, and we'll see. But they didn't put the ball in the right areas anywhere near enough. I mean, there were a lot of long hops. There were a lot of balls down leg side. Have a look at the pitch map. It's hideous. It's like pointillism. It's can't remember what the question was. I'm just rambling incoherently.
Whether it was the pitch that flat or the Zimbabwe. The pitch is actually very similar to a lot of pitches that I've seen this year because it's been such a dry start to the summer, to be honest. I think I've only watched 2 county championships that have been played on genuinely lively wickets.
Well, this is a flat wicket here.
So my point is that's going to be exacerbated here, isn't it?
Yeah, so, Zimbabwe have a chance to put this behind them tomorrow and show that their bowlers haven't done such a bad job, and it's a real flat one. I mean, if you think of some of the massive ODI scores we've seen here, that could happen. I don't think it will, but let's see.
That's it.
Brilliant. That was kind of fun.
Was it? Glad you thought so. Bloody hell.
See you tomorrow.
Still a prima donna.
Thanks for the questions.
Still a prima donna.